breaking news as of about an hour ago. The king of Babylon, Trump orders strikes on Syria, along with France and the UK. Germany made it known that they're not with this attack. I'm not going to make this long. This is from the New York Times. Today's date is April 13, 2018, year of prophecy, and boy, this has been a year of prophecy. Anyway, we're basically going on 4 months in to the year 2018. I mean, 2019 is damn near eight months away, and these months go by quickly. Excuse me. Anyway, it says Trump. This is from the New York Times. Trump orders strikes on Syria over suspected chemical weapons attack. President Trump addresses the nation from the White House on Friday night. The strikes mark the second time that Mr. Trump has attacked Syria to punish the government after it was accused of using chemical weapons. And what I'll do is I'll put the link in the description box. You can read the rest of the article. Right now I have it on RT News on my television. And I got an ear open to that. I'll see what CNN has to say, and any other. What I might do is go to Press TV, see what they say about the whole thing. Anyway, with that, signing off until later. I'll probably do another video concerning this. Let's see what's going to happen. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say Shalom.
Jesus Christ is finished. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach is our Lord. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Kodash, Kahalayim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Waha Rakak Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Peace and blessing to the elect. Yeah, I just went into the health food store and I was about to buy some chocolate, and lo and behold, look who's on the front of the box. Caesar Borgia, okay? Or Serapis Christus. You know, Esau is on his last hurrah, you know, and there's nothing he can do, man. All right. And I looked around and I see that they have that picture everywhere. Okay. You know, picture of Caesar. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so the point is, Esau is through. Esau is through. We are woken up to who we are. We just have to maintain our faith. You brothers see what's going on in the news with Russia, Syria, and the US. This is it, man. Shalom.
the UN. At the UN, Nikki Haley was also trading barbs with her Russian counterpart, but she said we are not in a hurry. But her president looks like didn't listen and didn't hear what she said, and he already ordered the taking of military action against Syria. Let us have your comments on this and the consequence of this action.
Well, the United States and Britain have been pushing for an attack on Syria to try to reverse the defeat they've suffered, because they've been backing the Islamic rebels, even though they're claiming they're fighting Daesh or the Islamic State. In fact, they've been arming them, helping them, paying their salaries, and trying to affect the youth. But they failed because the Syrian people resisted it with the help of Hezbollah, Iran, and of course the Russian Air Force. Now, Russia has said that if the United States attacks Syria, they're going to shoot down the missiles, plus take out the places that the attacks were launched for. We're going to have to see if the Russians are going to follow through with their promise, if they respond as they did in like this totally illegal attack that the Americans, French, and the British are doing. We'll see. It could escalate very much. Tomorrow we're at World War III.
Okay, Edward, sorry, I have to stop you there, and we'll come back to you later. We'll go back to Damascus to our correspondent, Mohammed Ali, and see what he has for us. Mohammed.
Yes, sounds of Syrian air defenses continue to be heard in Damascus and its countryside. Even from where I am sitting right now, I can also hear such sounds coming from the areas around me. Of course, also smoke was seen over Qasyun mountain, and this also refers that the Syrian air defense systems is working on repelling that attack. There are still sounds coming out, which also confirms that the U.S., British, French attack continues up till this moment, and the Syrian air defenses continue to repel that attack. It is clear that there are multiple targets, not just Damascus, but Damascus countryside. Also, reports say that there were sounds of explosions heard in Homs province. So the attack is happening at those moments right now. We will have to wait and see what the Syrian Army Command will issue regarding a statement on the details, of course, of what happened. Usually after several hours following such attacks, similar attacks, previous attacks, the General Command of the Syrian Army issues a statement clarifying what happened, what are the areas that were targeted, but not specifically. But it is expected that one of the main areas targeted is the Jumraya Scientific Research Center in Damascus countryside, and also Berzeh. It is clear also that every time there is a U.S. or Israeli attack or a Western attack on Syria, always the target systems over here, and this is not a surprise. The Syrian army has been saying since the start of the unrest that it is ready to repel any attack which is targeting Syria's sovereignty. President Bashar al-Assad said all actions, Western actions following any victory for the Syrian army on the ground come and such threats would only create and increase instability in Syria and in the Middle East. And this is what we're seeing. Eventually, what is happening is more instability because of such attacks. But eventually, any official statement attack is not clear yet by the Syrian government. We will have to wait and see what will be the statement of both the Foreign Ministry and the General Command of the Syrian Army.
And Mohammed has also let our viewers also know a little bit about any traces of use of chemical weapons. Syria and Russia, Damascus is now being under attack. No traces have been found of use of chemical weapons.
There is no evidence that there was any sort of chemical attack in eastern Ghouta, as terrorists claimed that the Syrian government attacked using chemical substances on the 7th of this month. But there was no evidence found, no proof found. The Russian military police and the Russian army also was over there inside the Duma after terrorists in the hospital where the supposedly chemical attack was happening. It was staged. This is what the Russians made it clear. It also, the Russian military police also interviewed some of the people, the civilians who were forced a chemical attack inside the this attack. This attack right now comes just one day, less than 24 hours prior to an expected visit for an OPCW team in order to investigate what happened inside Duma. So the United States, Britain, and France did not even wait for an official, clear evaluation of what happened, an investigation. They just started striking with no clear evidence or proof on whether there was even a chemical attack and who was behind it.
Exactly. Thank you for that. Watch the developments there, Mohammed. We'll come back to you later on. We have breaking news Syrian TV saying that the airstrikes are targeting Damascus and the surrounding areas. No more details at this stage. We have breaking news just pouring. From elsewhere. Let me check some other points. Saying that again, Syrian TV is saying that the Syrian military is confronting the airstrikes with anti-aircraft weapons. The anti-aircraft battery itself, as our correspondent Mohammed Ali just said, is itself target of saying that he has ordered the French military to intervene in Syria together with the U.S. and Britain. We also have some from the UK's defense for RAF Tornado fighter jets have taken part in the Syria airstrikes. This is just hot on the heels of Mr. Trump announcing the start of taking military action against Syria. We had Theresa May and Emmanuel Macron ordering their militaries to start taking action and maybe research facility has already been hit. And France is also the UK saying that they have used their tornado jets in the airstrikes. We also have they are responding battery, so we'll have to wait and see while it goes on. And it's also it started around 4 in the morning local time in Damascus and the countryside. Now we have Zahra Al-Dirzi, another correspondent of ours in Syria. Let's listen to Zahra and see what she has for us. Zahra.
Yes, till this moment, the situation is still very foggy, at least here for me. I mean, from my location in eastern of the capital, Damascus. The news we see, they are talking about striking the Damascus International Airport, which I can't confirm because from my location I could see if they were talking about flames. There was no flames from the side of the Damascus International Airport, but what I can confirm that a very near strike targeted a research center in Barze, especially that according to the news that were being reported from the UK and US, that this center was being put on the targets list. The sounds of air defenses, the Syrian 2 minutes, then they resumed. We don't know if the attack, now there is a calm, but I don't know if the attack have ended or not yet, because every single minute the situation is being changed, and we can hear the resumption of the attack. Also reports are talking about targeting the Republican Guard positions in Qasyun Mount, which also we can't confirm yet. There is a lack of information till this moment. I think we could have more details when the attack ends, or as the Syrian army's sources will send more information.
Okay, Zahra, thank you for that. Keep an eye on the development, then we'll come back to it a little later. Well, as the UK's defense minister said that shadow missiles were used against he was right. And this is what they say, that that facility, this is where Syria was assessed to keep chemical weapon precursors there. Let's see if that is the Organization for Prohibition of Chemical Weapons has already confirmed that Syria has no chemical weapons and it's still disarmed. And these are just coming in. We have operation, in other words, and she tries civilians will not be, hopefully, the targets will also, well, we also hope that civilians will not fall victim to these, as what they call, precise attacks against Syria. Well, Jim Dean, managing editor of Veterans Today, is joining us. Let's ask Jim what he thinks about this and the repercussions of such military action.
Today, and the revelations being quite startling, and he had his attorney office, the first hearing was today, so some of the revelations came up there. This all makes me think that even though we thought possibly with the chemical weapons people in Damascus proceeding to go ahead and collect information and make a report, the general thinking is that the attack would be held off until they made their attack. So we're thinking that Trump decided and to be off of his problems, and he'll be playing the big commander-in-chief to try to deflect. And of course, FBI ex-director Comey is just beginning his book tour, and he knows that he's gotten a huge amount. So somebody, I
Haley didn't expect this, as we just aired a piece of news in which Haley said that if we are not going to rush, but we may take military action. And immediately afterward, military action was taken.
Some people, we had Mattis, of course, saying we don't really have any proof, even though then he said, but we do think that it's Syria did do it. And then we had several others saying the same thing. And then on the other side, others saying, well, we're not going to rush to judgment. We want to make sure our information is correct. So in a way, it was almost like they were either incoherent, with the left hand not knowing what the right was doing, or this was done purposely so that they could say we're confused and Assad, so he won't know what they were going to do. But of course, our people in Damascus told us today that all the major buildings had already been emptied. The intelligence offices was everybody was gone. The military installations, all the offices were gone. Everybody was underground. So they basically weren't waiting. So we'll sit here now, see how many missiles are fired, and by morning we'll start getting reports about interceptions, and we'll see what the Russians will have to say. Probably defense chief saying that we don't have really any real proof that Assad was behind this. So this is basically showing America saying we don't need proof. We will use whatever kind of excuse or allegations that we want to launch a military strike. And this has really put the big stamp of America the bully. And we're going to see now whether the American people wake up and realize that they may have a sociopath as
the capital Damascus. And we also have the Syrian Observatory saying that the Syrian government evacuated those military bases and airports that are targeted in these attacks. Now, Jim, if you're still with me, also let our viewers know why the UK and France, among European countries, not anyone else, should be joining Trump in this.
Because you have this thing. All want to think that we have a right to go back there and decide who's going to run those countries that used to be ours and now we have lost. It's really been embarrassed to see what Britain's doing. The country's broke. The middle class is being starved and turned into serfs, and yet they're trying to put on this guns and butter show that the British Empire still rules and we can bully people around. And this after we found that they...
Okay, Jim, I'm sorry. I apologize. We have to stop there. And Theresa May is delivering a speech. Let's go listen to her.
We are acting.
With Syria's ambassador to the UN saying a group of experts from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons will arrive in Syria later on Thursday. Have a listen.
There will be two teams. I mean a team composed out of two groups.
The arrival is scheduled for today and tomorrow.
The first team, I guess, has already arrived to Lebanon right now.
They're going to be in Syria today. And they're going to be in Syria today. You said
definitely,
Thursday.
yes.
And when are they? Do you have any idea when are they going to start working?
We don't know. It's up to them. We are ready to escort them to where they want, wherever they want, anytime they want.
Are they in Beirut at the moment?
The first team in Beirut.
Thank you.
The first team.
Thank you.
We denied maybe 1,001 time, similar to 1,001 nights, the Arabian Nights. We denied 1,001 time using any chemical substances against our own people. And we provided all the necessary and required justifications for saying that. So it's time to digest and metabolize what we are saying.
We're joined out of Ohio by Mr. Gordon Duff, senior editor at Veterans Today. Hello, Mr. Duff. Now, last year in Khan Sheikhoun, in the alleged chemical gas attack there, we saw the U.S. with no proof. We saw Damascus and Moscow ask the U.S. and its allies the very next day after that attack, if you remember, to bring a probe, bring an inquiry, bring the OPCW on Syrian soil and investigate. But we didn't see that. We saw the U.S. carry out those missile attacks on Syrian soil with no inquiry towards Damascus or on Syrian soil. Your thoughts, should we see anything different this time around?
The rationale for bringing in the OPCW is a stalling effort only by the Syrian government. The OPCW is infamous for being unfair. It's always been a stacked deck. Now the investigators are on the ground right now, from what I understand. I was on the phone this morning from with Russian reconciliation officers in Damascus today, saying that the OPCW would be given full unfettered access. We're going to have people from our organization traveling with them, and we hope they'll be allowed to film. The issue is a fairly simple one. We believe that the OPCW has, because it has been a polluted organization, already has a finding. They came up with a very odd nerve gas finding in the Skripal incident just earlier today, although they didn't blame Russia directly. They came up with a result based on little or no evidence. So they're typically an organization that's influenced. Syria's been trying a number of ploys to hold off the inevitable. The U.S. and Britain have decided to attack. Russia has no idea how to respond. The relations between Syria and Russia are at an all-time low because confidence is very, very low here. Russia is extremely concerned that if they do nothing, it will certainly damage the prestige of their government. If they do something, they're dealing with the United States that's gone totally insane and is risking nuclear war. This is an unprecedented situation, and Syria is simply stalling for time, hoping that someone gains their sanity and wishing, and this is what we hear from Damascus, they're stalling for time, waiting for Russia to find some leverage to bring the U.S. into line. Leverage, I think, that's going to have to come out of Tel Aviv, where Washington's real direction originates.
And isn't Washington jumping the gun on this, sir? I mean, the Khan Sheikhoun incident last year, we saw just a couple months ago, the Pentagon came out, Jim Mattis himself said that the U.S. government, that Washington, has to this day found no evidence that supports that the Damascus used sarin gas in Sheikhoun on its own people, and yet we saw 50 some odd Tomahawk missiles being launched at a Syrian airbase as a result of that, on that pretext. So why shouldn't Washington entertain actually trying a different narrative this time and waiting for the facts to be revealed before it actually starts this escalation that we're seeing in the last couple of days?
Oh, it goes further than this. For the past 6 weeks, the Syrian government has been trying to contact American authorities, representatives of Congress, representatives of the Justice Department, saying that they knew that rogue elements of the CIA, White House, and Israeli intelligence, others, and they're going anywhere they can, were planning a false flag attack on Syria in order to bring about this attack to additionally bring about a wider conflict with Russia. For 6 weeks, these reports are coming in. U.S. law enforcement authorities with the Federal Bureau of Investigation have received reports that fabricated intelligence has been flowing into the United States on these attacks. They have reports. They have refused to initiate an investigation. And this is treason, it's espionage against the U.S. Many Americans have been involved in fabricating these stories, as with the one from Khan Sheikhoun as well. We knew that was a fault, we call it a false flag attack. The term is used so much it no longer has meaning. We don't know real terror from imaginary terror anymore. The serious thing in the U.S. is there is no voice in Congress, not a single word. The Israeli lobby has shut that down. Even the non-mainstream media, the alternative media, is silent. There's that much power to shut it down. There have been very, very few voices of sanity. And of course, there is no evidence at all. We have never seen the U.S. silenced to this degree, or an action this irresponsible. And we're sitting at a time far more dangerous than the 1962 crisis with Cuba. We are sitting at the edge of a nuclear war, and nothing is being done. No one is saying anything at all.
Thank you for joining us there, Mr. Gordon Duff, out of Ohio, senior editor of Veterans Today.
Of the Saudi money, if we may say, but the U.S. has actually for this attack. This is just their reaction, if we may say, because they threatened North, and they would have to leave at some point. And I think that at least the U.S. can be pragmatic enough. Things inside Syria. And I think Israel as well, but what they're trying to do is to at least weaken Syrian government and the allied forces inside Syria. Now, what the Israeli role might be, they are at least on high alert now, especially after the speech of Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah saying that there will be an Iranian retaliation, or perhaps at least this time they have put themselves in a confrontation, and a direct confrontation with the Islamic Republic of Iran, which now has considered that they have forces that have been killed by the Israelis directly and not indirectly as they have been in the past as a result of targeting Hezbollah posts inside Syria. Like in the past, in Kuwait, there was a member of the Revolutionary Guard was done by mistake. This time, no, it was done on purpose. So this is something that we might see. We want to see how it's going to be played out.
All right, thank you for that, Mariam Salar. In Beirut, see live images from Damascus, the Syrian capital, with crowds of people out in support of the Damascus government, waving the flags of their country and also chanting slogans. This is just a couple of hours after that U.S.-led attack. This is Umayyad Square in Damascus, and it's early hours of the day. Now let's go to Damascus. We have Mohammed Ali, our correspondent there. Let's ask him. Mohammed, tell us about the mood in Damascus.
Yes, residents of Damascus, large numbers of people took to the streets just an hour after the U.S. attack on Damascus. They marched and gathered in the Umayyad. You can just see now in the pictures, they have gathered there waving the Syrian flag and chanting slogans in support of the Syrian government and the Syrian president and the support of their homeland. They're saying that Syria is victorious despite all of the attacks. The residents there are saying that the Syrian government and the Syrian army has been gaining ground against the terrorists on the ground. Those terrorist groups, referring to the United States, Britain, and France, are now attacking Syria because the terrorists themselves have failed to achieve any progress on the ground. They are saying that finally now the terrorist supporters are unveiling their assets. Now the Syrian government, despite all of such attacks, whether by the terrorists or their supporters, the Syrian army is victorious on the ground, and the Syrian people also regard themselves also victorious now because, for example, Eastern Ghouta is now liberated. This morning, the final buses of terrorists are leaving Douma, which is the last stronghold that terrorists are present in eastern Al-Ghouta, and the Syrian people are now celebrating both the fastness of their government, of their homeland, and also the victory of eastern Al-Ghouta. As you know, terrorists in eastern Al-Ghouta have been occupying that area for years, and they have been getting the support of regional and western countries on top of which after the terrorists were defeated in eastern Al-Ghouta, the supporters of those terrorist groups are now launching attacks directly on Damascus. But they're saying that they are steadfast, that they will continue their support to the they will not be defeated, despite the fact that there are more and more attacks by Western countries and the United States on their homeland. So you can see how Syrians are important that messages for them to convey in front of the media outlets over there in the main square in Damascus, and the biggest square in Damascus, the Umayyad Square.
All right, that was Mohammed Ali, our correspondent in Damascus, and these are live images from Damascus, from, as our correspondent put it, the main where you see crowds of people chanting slogans, waving banners in support of the Damascus government, only an hour or so after this attack that was launched. And you also, on the left side of your screen, now you have live images from Aleppo, where everything looks normal. Well, we got breaking news pouring in with the Syrian government calling this attack as a flagrant violation, which is doomed to fail. And one interesting point, and the Pentagon official just an hour ago or so, they said that they have used double the amount of ammunition and weapons that they used compared to the previous attack launched against Damascus. And now an official with the government is saying that around 30 missiles, the U.S. wants to be Tomahawk missiles, that it was mentioned, 30 missiles were fired by the U.S.-led coalition, the U.S., Britain, and France. And they are saying that 1/3 of those missiles were shot down by the Syrian army. Well, the Pentagon general who was briefing the reporters together with Mr. James at a later stage, the Syrian government is saying that 1/3 of the missiles fired down. Well, this attack happened immediately after we were covering this live here on Press TV, that Trump said that he has ordered this military action to be taken by the U.S. military. Right afterward, we had the British Prime Minister Theresa May also saying that she has then made the same order, and that we had Emmanuel Macron's order on this attack. So let's see regarding that speech that initially Trump made concerning this military action. We have parts of them to play for you.
My fellow Americans, a short time ago, I ordered the United States Armed Forces to launch precision strikes on targets associated with the chemical weapons capabilities of Syrian dictators.
Feel victorious rather than feeling defeated.
At a later time. And okay, now we, as I told you, we got, there was also breaking news. Strongly the U.S. attack on Syria, also warned of regional consequences of this attack, which was conducted a few hours ago. Well, that was 5 images from Damascus. This going on routinely, and in Damascus we had people out in support of the government. Now, joining me from Ontario is political commentator Jason Andruja. Jason, let us have your comment on this military action against Syria.
Well, I think we saw this coming. The United States has certainly said that it was willing to strike with or without the cooperation an OPCW investigation had been carried out. And I think we know the answer to that. Russia already carried out an investigation and said that there were absolutely no traces of any chemical weapons that had been used. I firmly believe that W was going to find the same thing as well, and that this would put a final nail in the coffin for much of the propaganda campaign that has been used against the Syrian government. Once this whole attack was found to be wholly and completely fabricated, it would have raised out the government. And this would have been enough to embarrass the United States before the entire world. The world would see once again that the United States are a pack of liars who have spread falsehoods in order to justify invasions, just as they did with Libya, and just as they much more famously did. The previous guest, just maybe a few minutes ago, said that this that investigation from taking place, and it seems that we're fairly confident, many of us, what the outcome of that investigation is going to be, and it seems the United States not only of international law, not only it's basic human decency as well.
And Jason, make a gain and capture some area, just like recently, you know, that Duma, the entire eastern Ghouta is of the Syrian army. Anytime such a thing happens,
as being the truth. Anytime that the Syrian government has made significant advances, has come forward their own sovereign territory from these foreign-backed mercenaries, of foreign-backed Islamic militants, Daesh, Al-Qaeda, FS, carrying upon them, the United States has come in to try to sabotage any effort when they do make those advances. I mean, we noticed that there's been alleged chemical attacks every time significant by the Syrian government, and the evidence of those attacks is usually field who can see that what is being practiced on the ground is not really medicine, but really an act of. I'm reminded of the Swedish Doctors Without Borders, who witnessed a Syrian into the heart of a baby, pretending to try to. I think he was trying to help it, and the doctors said that if the baby had not already been dead, then the act of that paramedic themselves. And these things always happen right when the Syrian government makes some kind of significant gains inside the country.
Istanbul, we have our correspondent in Istanbul, Rashan Saglam, joining us now. Rashan, Turkey was also involved in the Syria crisis. Turkey, Russia, in Turkey as a regional actor, and if any reaction has been taken by the government there yet.
Well, today, after
3 days, the Turkish officials have been warning from this attack. Actually, President Erdogan said that this attack will inflame the region, and called, in his words, the war any of the actors in Syria, not Russia, not the Syrian people, and not also Turkey. He said that the whole region will be from this attack, and he said that some countries and our allies must stop what he called fighting that they are doing in Syria, and he said that they should know that they are fighting on another country's soil. And the Turkish defense earlier on that this small attack is enough, or a small attack on Syria by the United States, and he said Arkel could inflame the whole situation in the region rather than calming it, and calling the United States for Syria on using chemical weapons and actually investigating the situation rather than attacking Syria. And many officials in Turkey actually said that the official on civilians is not acceptable by Turkey. However, unlike the United States, did not accuse the Syrian government of attacking the civilian chemicals, and he said we are investigation. Turkish officials say or mention every time that the United States attack is going to inflame the situation in the region, and they also said that Syria. Actually, there are Turkish troops in Syria, acting troops in Syria, and 10 days ago we have been seeing 3 meeting in Ankara and agreeing that the only solution for the Turkish crisis is political solution, is through dialogue and a peaceful solution, not attacks by another country. Many sources in Syria say that the attacks occurred against civilian positions, not military positions. So this is kind of worrying, and this situation is, I must say.
And Rashan, do we know if any public protests are being organized?
Maybe, or some kind of public meetings for Syria. However, in Turkey particularly, the majority of Syrians are not from the take place. However, I think on the official level, I think that there will be meetings in Turkey. And just yesterday, President Erdogan spoke to his counterpart in attacks came suddenly, and no one was expecting those attacks to happen.
Now, if I can go back to Jason and Ruha in Ontario, I want to ask Jason, and Iran against making friends with dictators like to join civilized nations instead of doing this.
The United States has backed some of the most ruthless dictatorial regimes that have ever existed in modern history. I mean, this is a hypocritical statement that that one could ever see that the United States has ever made. Some others, I believe the Shah as well. There's some of the absolute worst people that have ever been in a position of leadership. That they have some kind of moral ground and can say something. I mean, these countries are trying to help Syria survive an assault by an imperialist aggressor, and for them to their accusations are certainly unfounded. And as it appears now that their missile strikes are trying to cover up one of the investigations into these attacks, it's wholly laughable.
And like Eastern Ghouta, that was certainly recaptured. Deal sponsored also by Russia. They started leaving, evacuating their families, terrorists. They gave up their arms, their left, and the Assad government launched chemical weapons.
Person with any critical thinking skills would realize that such an attack would be meaningless, even if we were to imagine it would be where it makes any sense whatsoever. There's just no point to it. It benefits. It does not benefit the Syrian government. A nail in the coffin on this claim of the chemical attack accusation by the imperialist powers, and frankly, it a last stand moment for the propaganda effort against the Syrian government. They've already lost the military situation on the ground through their proxy forces. But one of the things they still can do is, and the sheer nonsensical nature of the accusation shows largely, to me anyway, the of the imperialist forces to try to label the Assad regime as criminal, as without conscience, that just psychotically enjoys harming civilians, when this is to try to push that kind of narrative before the whole military past, some odd 7 years has been a complete and utter failure.
Ken, let us have your comments on the military action taken by the U.S., UK, France against Syria.
Tonight on the sovereign government of Syria are outrageous, illegal, and reckless, in my opinion. Those countries, those three countries have tonight by Russia, by Britain, France, and the United States have shown that they are truly rogue countries. They have attacked in violation of international law. They do not have the approval of the United Nations Security and does not have the blessing of Congress, so it's in violation of the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. coalition is losing the war in Syria, and they are striking out in reckless and desperate ways in response to that realization. The second thing is they do not have a shred of evidence not have struck. They would have allowed the investigators from the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, OPCW, by attacking before the investigation even starts that the three rogue states, Britain, France, and the USA. And the third thing is that they have done this terrible act of war of the threats, the warnings, the public warnings, three of them that the Russian government gave to the U.S. over the past threatened they would attack the platforms from which the attacks took place. We are in a very dangerous situation in the world today. We could have tomorrow a war in the Middle East. We could have a world war. And I believe that it's time for the people of the world to stand up arrange for a political solution in Syria, one in which the people of Syria have self-determination. They died rogue states that attack tonight. And I'm really glad that in the U.S. tomorrow and Sunday, today and Sunday, there were a couple of demonstrations in Canada. Down on Downing Street. So the people of the world are trying to make their voices heard. We do not want war, we want peace, and we want...
Okay, Ken, as we spoke with in these dangerous circumstances and to avoid any acts that could escalate the situation and worsen the advice all the countries. Now my question for you, home in the U.S., I mean, could that have had a role in his decision to take military action against Syria?
Always plays into any decision of the U.S. president, and he is personally under attack. His government policies to create a diversion in Syria. On another false flag accusation of chemical weapons, and he sent 59 cruise missiles into the Shariat air base without any investigation. And later, his U.S. Defense Chief General Mattis said he in my opinion, they still have no evidence today.
Yeah, and also looks like that Trump was also boasting of this support that he has received for launching this strike. He was boasting of, said that this time he was making a comparison.
Britain and France on the side of the U.S. is nothing new. Those three rogue states have been waging an illegal war along with the help of the U.S. Israelis are pushing their influence across the south. So the neo-colonial powers are still up to their old tricks. They are trying to drag out the war in Syria, and they are trying to make life miserable for the Syrians so that they can't recover from these proxy armies of terrorists have created. I don't think Trump should look as a big deal the fact that he has Britain and oppose this warlike policy.
Okay,
and,
Ken, I'm sorry, I have to stop you there. We should go live to Paris. The foreign minister is speaking there.
People by deliberately choosing to challenge international law.
نفديك يا بشار بالروح بالدم نفديك يا بشار بالروح بالدم نفديك يا بشار هذا شعب سوريا هذا شعب سوريا هذا شعب سوريا هذا شعب سوريا والله العالم كله يسمع كشف وأن الرصيد قد بأدواته المباشرة وبيده الملونة. صواريخ اضرب صواريخ عن بلدنا ما بنزيح عن بلدنا ما بنزيح من ساحات الأمويين وصاحب ذات الأمين وخبر كل السوريين والله حبيبي الله سوريا وشعبي وبس.
بنك أهداف صواريخ ترامب وحلفائه الذكية كشف غش ادعاءاتهم. مركز البحوث العلمية في حي برزة والذي تصدر أهداف الهجوم الثلاثي كان قصفه أضخم بينة على أنه لا يحتوي على أي مواد سامة يمكن أن تؤثر على حياة الجوار، وإلا لما وصلت كاميرتنا إلى هنا.
انت بذاتك شفتي وفي حد صار له شيء وانا صار لي من الساعه 5 صباحا لا يوجد اي عنصر اي عامل من عوامل الحرب الكيميائيه. هذا مبنى مدني يقوم في أعمال تطوير صناعات صيدلانية وصناعات كيميائية سلمية مدنية. منظمة حظر الأسلحة الكيميائية زارت هذا المبنى عدة مرات وقامت بجولات تفتيشية دقيقة فيه لمرات عديدة، وكان هناك تسهيل كبير لعمل هذه المنظمة أو أفراد طواقم هذه المنظمة، حتى كانت تأخذ من هذا المبنى مكان لتجميع العينات وتوطيب العينات التي تحصل عليها من مواقع المراد تفتيشها.
العدوان تزامن مع موعد دخول بعثة التحقيق التابعة لمنظمة حظر الأسلحة الكيميائية إلى مدينة دوما لفحص الموقع المفترض للهجوم المزعوم، وهو ما رأى فيه مصدر في الخارجية السورية محاولة لعرقلة عمل تلك البعثة واستباق نتائجها والضغط عليها في محاولة لعدم فضح أكاذيبهم وفبركاتهم وفق تعبيره.
أنا أرى في هذا العدوان وليس الضربة، العدوان على سوريا هي تأكيد قاطع من أصحاب العدوان الذين اعتذروا على سوريا أنه لا يوجد كيميائي في سوريا. المبررات على ذلك من خلال ربط السبب بالنتيجة. لماذا تم توقيت هذا العدوان مع موعد مجيء اللجنة المكلفة من المنظمة الأممية حظر الأسلحة الكيميائية ووصولها إلى دمشق مع التعاون والتأييد المطلق من قبل روسيا ومن قبل سوريا لذلك؟
مراقبون يرون أنه لو كانت المنشآت المستهدفة تحتوي على مواد كيميائية كما يدعي الطرف المعتدي لامتلأت العاصمة ومحيطها بنعوش للسوريين من دون أن تلقى من يحملها إلى مثواها الأخير. الدخان الأبيض الذي ما زال ينبعث من هذا المبنى وهو أولى المواقع المستهدفة من قبل العدوان الثلاثي على سوريا يعلن براءته من تهمة الكيميائي التي وإن وجدت فهي فقط لغاية في نفس من أطلقها. من المبنى المستهدف في مركز البحوث العلمية في حي برزة بدمشق، وفاء شبروني، RT.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles, a great millstone that told me this truth. Greetings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom wa brakatham. I just want to respond to, the series of events that just took place, earlier, because this attack that was carried on Syria, it was earlier this morning on that side of the world, but it was still the evening of the 13th here in the States. Now, I remember reports coming out about how they were planning to send chemical experts to do an inspection over there in Syria. But the U.S. acted presumptuously, or they acted very quickly on the matter before the inspection was to take place. And this pretty much shows you the craftiness, the hypocrisy, the deception of the so-called white man, Esau. All right. Now, I'm not defending Syria, Russia. All of you are heathens, and you all are being set up for World War III because the Heavenly Father prophesied that He's going to gather you nations over there to fight each other. All right. And, us so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, we're the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. And the land of Israel is occupied by devils. And it's those same devils over there, which they're top elitists, all right, which we know as the Zionist regime. They're behind all of this conflict that you see happening over there. Okay? And what they're doing in Syria is a cover-up for the real reason why they're over there. All right? You had this whole ISIS thing going on for a while. But then once Assad got rid of ISIS with the help of Russia and Iran and, those alliances, then, they had no real reason to still be over there, even though they were claiming to fight terrorism over there. But as soon as they get rid of ISIS, then a supposed alleged chemical attack happens. and all of a sudden, oh, we gotta go back, we gotta stay, and we gotta bomb Damascus, we gotta do something about this Assad guy. He's a monster. He attacks his own. Well, this is the second time you've done this, and you've acted before the actual proof came out about if there were any traces of chemical weapons being used on the people. And we know that America, the West, you have the biggest stockpile of chemical weapons. And to show the hypocrisy of this place, of this man, Esau, you have history of using chemical weapons against nations of people. Hell, you use chemical warfare on your own citizens every day. So that's straight up hypocrisy. But in this article, I just kind of want to show what Russia said about this inspection that was supposed to happen, and that them using those cruise missiles would only destroy the evidence of there even being chemical weapons over there. All right. And supposedly when these strikes happened, they said that they struck like a chemical research facility over there. Okay. So, I mean, it's a lot of propaganda involved, but it's all being controlled by the Zionists, man. They want to put this out there. This is all a psychological operation being done. Okay. So this was from RT. This is from 2 or 3 days ago. Moscow to Trump. Are smart missiles an attempt to destroy alleged chemical or chem attack evidence in Syria? Responding to a threat from U.S. President Donald Trump, who said Russia should prepare for nice, new, and smart missiles launched by America at Syria, Moscow said if the weapons were smart, they would target terrorists. Yeah, I mean, if you have this technology, this smart technology to attack certain areas, then when ISIS that you claim was committing terrorism that you was trying to fight, why wasn't you using it on ISIS military bases? Huh? Why wasn't you targeting ISIS with these weapons? That's because ISIS is controlled by you. ISIS was a psyop done by you, man. And you put it in the public eyes as if you were fighting them, but really you were promoting them. You were arming them with weapons. Okay? And ISIS is not Islamic State. That's more of a Israeli state, if you ask me. All right? But anyway, it goes on to say smart missiles should fly towards terrorists, not Syria's lawful government, which has spent several years fighting against international terrorism on its territory. Russian Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova said in response to Trump's tweet on Wednesday. She added the U.S. may be seeking to undermine an inspection by chemical weapons experts who are planning to investigate on the ground in Syria after alleged attack, which sparked the current confrontation between Russia and the U.S. Are the OPCW inspectors aware that smart missiles are about to destroy all evidence of the chemical weapons used on the ground? Or is that the actual plan to cover up all evidence of this fabricated attack with smart missile strikes so that international inspectors had no evidence to look for? Zakharova said, or asked, and that's, if you notice, they didn't inspect. Now it's reports saying that they're coming out after the strikes. They come in and investigate and inspect for the chemical weapons. All right, but you're gonna inspect after the attacks, man. So obviously, there's a cover up, man, and really, they're putting this out there as a front because they want you to believe that the Assad, he's this guy, he's a heartless animal that's attacking his own citizens. He's letting bombs, chemical bombs go off and killing off, and harming, women, innocent women and children of his own. And what incentive would he have to do that? Who would do such a thing, man? But it's all propaganda to promote them getting in there and taking Syria for the purpose of the Zionists, man, because Israel been trying to take Syria for the longest. Okay? They tried to annex Golan Heights. They had that war that went down and they got the victory. And they started claiming that territory. Okay? You got the pipeline that goes through there. There's different reasons why they want to overtake Assad out of there, man. But they've been having difficulty because Assad is backed by Russia and Iran. Okay? And this is all going to push them further into World War III. All right, so I just wanted to show that, the deception. Okay, and this is what the elites do, man. This is all part of the crafty counsel of the wicked. All right, this is Job 15:35. It says, they conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepare deceit. Okay, and that's exactly what they do. Okay, so now this is the story that they're gonna go with. Assad is you people saw Trump's speech. Y'all heard what he was saying. And a lot of the stuff that he was saying was so hypocritical because everything that he's condemning them for that he doesn't have proof on, America has a long history of doing. Okay? And that's another thing, man. When we was talking about in our live show last night how you have a history of chemical warfare against people, man. Talking about the United States. And one of the events was you had Vietnam that was being fought, and millions of people got affected by that, including your own troops and of the military. All right, this is from history.com, and this goes into Agent Orange. This was a chemical being used. It was like a herbicide that was real destructive, man. And it goes into it. This is from history.com. It says Agent Orange was a powerful herbicide used by U.S. military forces during the Vietnam War to eliminate forest cover and crops for the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong troops. All right, so this is the U.S. using chemical warfare on another nation. The U.S. program, codenamed Operation Ranch Hand, sprayed more than 20 million gallons of various herbicides over Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos from 1961 to 1971. Agent Orange, which contained the deadly chemical dioxin, was the most commonly used herbicide. It was later proven to cause serious health issues, including cancer, birth defects, rashes, and severe psychological and neurological problems among the Vietnamese people, as well as among returning U.S. servicemen and their families. And them saying what Assad did, so allegedly did to his people, and calling him it's the crime of a monster. Well, I guess the whole U.S. government has a history of being monsters. Matter of fact, since this country began, you had a lot of chemical warfare, biological warfare, and genocide being done. This place was founded on that. All right, so how dare you condemn others for what you do, Esau? You a damn hypocrite, man. Okay, and this is just only one event, man. Okay. I'll read just a little more. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but this just to make the point. All right, it says, during the Vietnam War, the U.S. military engaged in an aggressive program of chemical warfare, codenamed Operation Ranch Hand, from 1961 and 1971. The U.S. military sprayed a range of herbicides across more than 4.5 million acres of Vietnam to destroy the forest cover and food crops used by enemy North Vietnamese and Viet Cong troops. U.S. aircraft were deployed to douse roads, rivers, canals, rice paddies, and farmland with powerful mixtures of herbicides. During this process, crops and water sources used by the non-combatant native population of South Vietnam were also hit. Okay? So they weren't even combative and they even got affected, man. All right, Esau, you really are the harbinger of death, man. Okay? By the sword shall thou live. Hey, that's exactly how you live, man. And the sword comes in different forms, especially whether it's biological, chemical, nuclear, and you have all those in your possession, man. You're a destructive creature. It says, in all, American forces used more than 20 million gallons of herbicides in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia during the years of Operation Ranch Hand. Okay? So, and that's pretty much on that, man. All right? And we can't forget about the chemicals that's being dumped in our water and our water supply. We got fluoride in our water. We got lead in our water supply. You know, it's a lot of nuclear radiation in a lot of this stuff. You know, everything is affected because of what this devil is doing. All right. Japanese, they suffered the after effects of the bombing, that atomic bombing, you know, for years. You know, and I mentioned Waco, how they used tear gas, you know, CS gas on the women and children in that compound, you know, which those people, they were bugged out. They're following a damn devil. But nevertheless, the government showed you that they'll do that to their own. Okay? So, once again, hypocrisy at its finest. Okay? But this is all, like I said, this is all a cover-up for them, for the real reason why they're in Syria. It's because they're trying to get rid of Assad so they can give up the land of Syria for Israel. And Israel is using the U.S., man. Trump, he's just a puppet on a string for the Zionists, just like all the other previous presidents, man. The Assad, the Mossad, the deep state, you know, they got Trump by the balls, man. That's all he's doing. But he's taking it to the public of America to flex his chest out like, you know, he's just, you know, it's him just making power moves. No, man. They got you. They need you to do this, man. They got you doing that. All right. So you know, you devils, man. This is all gonna you basically, this is all gonna be a snare unto you, man. Because this war that you're bringing on it's gonna result in you being destroyed. Okay. You're doing this to maintain your global hegemony over the world, and you try to prevent the rising superpower of you know, Russia, China, you know, Iran, Syria, you know, which this is what this whole battle and fight is going to be about, man. And you all going to be destroyed, man. All right. So, matter of fact, let me get this in Job. Okay. Cause, you know, America, or really Esau as a whole, you know, he's a damn hypocrite. This is Job 20:4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, right? And the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment. Yeah, man. You know, your little victories and, you know, you coming out with your chest out and talking about how proud you are of the strikes, and, you know, this is just a one-time strike, you know, to show a strong message, you know, to Assad and Russia and Iran. And man, this is short, okay? And you're showing the world how much of a hypocrite you are. Okay? Chemical warfare is being done on America, man. Nobody talking about that. GMO is chemical warfare. These are chemtrails that's sprayed on us all day. You know, breaking down our immune system and causing us to become real sick. All right, these pharmaceuticals, that's all chemical warfare. Okay? So, this devil's doing everything because, his time is ticking, man. Revelation 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, and that's what's going on. His time is ticking, so he's doing everything in his power to maintain his hegemon, man. All right, so look for more propaganda in in the near future. Okay, and Russia, they're already coming out and condemning the attacks as well as Iran, and they talked about how there would be consequences if attacks were done or carried out. So this is all part of the spark that's gonna bring World War III. So I just want to make that point. This pretty much shows that Esau's he's the damn devil, but he's this is all for this is all it's all set up, and eventually he's gonna be taken in the craft that he imagined, man. All right, let me get Job. Let me end off with that. Job 5:12, it says, he disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. Okay? So he's going to take you in your own craftiness, man. The Lord is going to allow that to happen, man. Whether the cunning craftiness that you're pulling in the earth, using these tactics to try to maintain your position and try to bring out your new world order, it's only going to backfire on you, because you're the least of the flock is going to bring everybody into that barren, desolate wilderness over there where y'all all going to be fighting until the Lord shows up and destroy all of y'all, man. Okay? And that's when Esau, your whole kingdom is going to be basically over with. It's done. It is finished. All right? The Lord's going to come back and destroy you and take the world, take the whole earth over. And the Israelites, they're gonna rule over you. And who are the Israelites? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the same people that you call nigger, spick, wetback, tomahawk. Okay? We're the Israelites, man. And we're just sitting back and we're watching this unravel, and it's happening exactly the way the Lord said it would happen, man. Beautiful, man. Our Lord, he liveth, man. He's here. So with that, I'm going to close. I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Till next time, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.
Hey, I'm Christopher Green. You're watching AMTV Alternative Media Television. It is Happy Friday the 13th. And was there a news channel out on the internet, Alex? I don't know. Was there a news channel? I can't remember what the name was, that basically told you that there would be a war in Syria. In fact, they didn't even just warn about it over the last couple of days and weeks and months, but literally throughout the last 10 years, warned the American people that there would be a war in Syria, that the United States would attack. It didn't matter whether or not it was Barack Obama or the next president. At the time, we didn't even know it would be Donald Trump. But there was going to be a total all-out war and conflagration in this part of the world that would result in a World War III scenario, which would cost millions of people their lives, of which the federal government would sell a bunch of lies and continued false flag after false flag after false flag after false flag. Is there a channel out there? I don't know. I'm talking to the audience, too, that actually told you that was going to happen. Oh, yeah, it's called AMTV, which you're tuning into right now. Alternative Media Television. We have been so right about everything, it's almost annoying. And believe me, we're not perfect, but we've been so right about everything. Whether or not it's Syria, whether or not it's economic collapse in 2008 or 2009, whether or not it's Bitcoin, which, by the way, I'm pissed off because I couldn't even drive my Maserati for a freaking day before Donald Trump launched World War III. It's been one day. I tried to take the crew out to lunch, and we knew it was going to happen on a Friday. By the way, and you knew that, and you would also have all the inside track if you were watching us on demand at amtvmedia.com, because Chad and I discussed this very specifically, that we thought it potentially could happen on a Friday, as did the last Syria airstrike, as Donald Trump continued to jockey back and forth with his loud mouth on Twitter. And by the way, I voted for Donald Trump. I completely disagree diametrically with his decision, and I really don't think it's his decision, to bomb this part of the world. Based on a fallacy, based on lies, based on rhetoric, based on total BS. That's it. That's all we've gotten. No evidence at all. Again, do I have to restate this? Why would Assad shoot himself in the foot if he's winning the war? It's not even logical. Why would he perpetrate a heinous act through chemical warfare on his own people when he's beating the rebels on the ground, funded and armed by the United States federal government? Why would he do that? It'd make no sense. He'd only get drone striked like he is today. So you heard it here first. We've put out dozens and dozens of videos, hundreds and thousands of videos over the last decade, dozens this week. We're pushing millions and millions of eyeballs a day. We just crushed through 500,000 subscribers. We told you the war was coming. We told you he's going to bomb Syria. We told you before he was even president. And now it's happening. World War III is breaking out. Donald Trump has launched an all-out attack on Syria. And they're selling it just like they sold the deep state, the dark state, sold the past wars. Oh yeah, there's WMDs in Iraq. No, there wasn't. Oh, there was a chemical attack in Ghouta perpetrated by Assad in 2013. No, that was a lie. The United Nations proved that to be a lie. Seymour Hersh, Pulitzer Prize winner, proved that to be a lie. We proved it to be a lie here. But Christopher, I trust the government. The government's always there to save me. They're such wonderful people. And Bitcoin's a scam. It's making people millionaires. It's made me a millionaire. I just bought a Maserati over 6 figures today, and I paid with Bitcoin. And the war has just been launched in Syria. Right. Honestly, it's getting annoying. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed with constantly being right. I'm annoyed with the general populations out there that just don't get it, that just don't understand the truth. I had to rush down here in my freaking Maserati to come back in studio to report on this because I can't relax. Because this is what we're dealing with worldwide. A world war. The United States of America, her allies, versus Russia, a billion Chinese. Mark my words. Vladimir Putin will retaliate with extreme force. The likelihood of an EMP attack, an electromagnetic pulse, or something far worse is very, very high. Hitting, God forbid, our shores here in the United States of America, or God forbid, our allied shores in Europe. The alert has never been higher. The emergency broadcast system has never been so loud. And it has been building up for generations. It has been building up for a decade. What else are they going to do? There is no other option but to bomb. So let's dig into this now. Donald Trump, and convenient on a Friday, very convenient, Friday the 13th, and on a Friday when everybody's drinking beers and hanging out and trying to have a good time, which is exactly, literally verbatim, what we talked about behind closed doors. Join on demand, click the link below. You wouldn't know all this. And we also talked about it publicly. It's not about being right. I don't care about being right. Nobody really cares. Even when we are right, people will still be like, oh, whatever, it was predictable. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. We started talking about Syria before Obama ever struck. We were talking about Syria and warning of a world war and a conflagration in this part of the world before there was 500,000 civilians that had lost their lives. Now they've launched the war. Now they're lighting it up like a freaking Christmas tree, which is what we told you is exactly what would happen. Trump orders strikes against Syria over chemical weapons attack. This is from Reuters. U.S. President Donald Trump on Friday ordered, this happened moments ago. We've had 2 videos on it already coming out with the breaking news, dozens others. Precision strikes targeting Syrian President Bashar al-Assad chemical weapons capabilities as explosions were heard in the Syrian capital, Damascus. Trump said a combined operation with France and Britain was underway and that they were prepared to sustain the response until Syria stopped its use of chemical weapons. This is in coordination with the United States and her allies. Incredible. Trump announces missile strikes against Syria. Now, by the way, I don't have the mainstream media because the mainstream media will brainwash you. That's how we knew it, far in advance. Because we actually read books here and study history and don't watch TV. That's why we're able to tell you all this. It's really not rocket science. It's just really 100% obvious. But we don't have any TV, so I don't see the Christmas tree. I don't know what it looks like. It's got to be pretty incredible, though, right? You're going to see total warfare. It'll make Iraq and those strikes in Baghdad look like child's play. It'll, God forbid, make September 11th and Pearl Harbor, it'll make it look weak compared to what's coming. My phones are blowing up. Friends and family all over the world texting me, oh, the Christmas tree's being lit up. You were right again, Chris. You were right again. How did you know? Trump announces missile strikes against Syria. U.S. conducts retaliatory. How is it retaliation? What? There's no evidence. Was there a third-party investigation done? No. None. There's no evidence at all. In fact, what they're doing right now is destroying the evidence. There was no WMDs in Iraq. There was, I would suggest, a chemical attack in Syria, but was it perpetrated by Assad? I mean, man, this guy's an idiot if he would do something like that. He's winning the war. ISIS didn't even exist until the United States got its dirty hands wrapped around it through our intelligence agencies. Spawned it from Al-Qaeda. Didn't even exist. So people ask me all the time, Christopher, when's this war you've been talking about for all these years? When is it coming? Well, turn on your boob tube. Turn on your TV. Right, and right. But the American people are dumb. It's very sad. Very, very sad. Yeah, honestly, it almost brings me to tears. Oh, Christopher, that Maserati isn't real. Yeah, it is. Oh, the wars will never happen. Anderson Cooper told me so as the bombs fly. This is it. We've climaxed. Expect an attack by Russia now. Donald Trump said he would attack, and Vladimir Putin said he would retaliate. Oh, but Christopher, I don't care. It's just Syria. You will, if God forbid it hits your shores. What else did we talk about? I mean, I'm just going through our video list here. I'm sorry. I mean, when we're this right, we got to make it known to the world. I mean, here I'm going through the videos. World War III, dark state is distracting the public. World War III, false flag attack is imminent. World War III, Trump ready smart bombs to hit Russia. World War III to strike Syria within hours. U.S. Navy destroyer arrives off coast. World War III, Syria, major announcement. Donald Trump prepares for World War III. Israel strikes Syria. World War III on the table. Watch breaking news. Syria under attack. Breaking Trump to strike Syria within 24 hours. World War III unfolding. Markets crashes China on warpath with USA. Like, I don't know how we can make it any more plain than that. I really don't. So I'm going to bring Chad Booksam on here in a moment. But we are talking the worst case scenario ever. We are talking total retaliation from America's enemies. We could be completely wiped out in the dark. We could have an EMP attack in this country. We could have nukes going off, God forbid, in every American city. And it's all over. But Christopher, what are you going to do with your Maserati? I don't care. I'll drive it while it lasts. Maybe we'll put our sunglasses on and watch the explosions together. But in the meantime, we'll kick ass in the real world. Again, I've never heard anyone complain like, geez, it's a real shame Donald Trump's a billionaire. He never would have been president. Oh, geez, Elon Musk is such a bad guy because he's such an innovator. How dare Jeff Bezos charge $10 a month for Amazon Prime? He's already a billionaire. Why would he charge? Like, people are literally dumb. Literally dumb. It gives me zero confidence for humanity. It gives me 100% confidence for you tuning in that understand, that get it, that are awake, that are enlightened, that have given it to God, who have given it to Jesus Christ. By the way, I give it all to him. I give nothing to myself. Nothing. Nothing. We are waging a war against the mainstream media. We are waging a war against CNN. We are waging a war against MSNBC. We are waging a war against Fox News. We are waging a war against this establishment system. And we are doing it in so many fantastic ways. Could I actually get a couple apologies? Honestly, that would be nice. Apologize. We've been right. But again, it's not about being right. Don't really care. But I'm going to say we told you so. Because we did. And we've been 100% right. Just like we're 100% right about Bitcoin and have been. It's made us millionaires. We had a great day today. It was great. We hung out, went up to North Scottsdale, drove the Maz, had a great lunch. Beautiful. Dropped that thing from 0 to 190 in about 5 seconds. Loved it. It's great. Hey, there's no guarantee of tomorrow. Live big. Live big. Who knows? Bombs might be going off in the next 5 seconds. Make a phone call to a family member or a friend. Might be your last opportunity. Oh, but Christopher, that's fear-mongering. That would never happen. Yeah, sure. Just like airstrikes would never happen. Just like 2008-09 would never happen. Just like Pearl Harbor would never happen. Just like World War I would never happen. World War II, Vietnam. Just like there'd never be a natural brush fire, as is natural selection. I mean, we see this in nature. It's the only way to reset all of this. Alex, do we have Chad? Is he available yet? I know we're doing this on the fly. We weren't expecting to be broadcasting. He's there. Chad, can you hear me, my man? So I want to hear your commentary on all this. We aired your video, by the way. We've got all this out, exclusive coverage. I got to commend you, too. You're 100% correct. We talked about this publicly and behind the scenes. You specifically talked about Friday being the day. You've been 100% correct. You were 100% correct within 24 hours of the Israeli airstrikes. We were 100% correct. The previous airstrikes that Donald Trump launched right when he got into office not too long ago, it's amazing. It really is amazing how easy all of this is to see, yet for somehow reason it's a surprise to the American people. They just can't believe it. And there was a chemical attack. Oh, that's why we got to have World War. No, there wasn't. It's proven to be false. All of you liberals tuning in around the world need to go talk to Seymour Hersh. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner. You need to go talk to Carla Del Ponte, the United Nations, the independent investigators, journalists like us. It's a total fraud. It was a total fallacy. It was a total lie. It was a total false flag. It was total bullshit.
Chris, is striking back right now with anti-aircraft missiles. That means Russia is striking back. Do you understand? Everybody tuning in, the majority of you, I know you understand. Everybody out there who doubts what's on the table, who thinks that what we're in is not a world war where you have Russia backing up Bashar al-Assad, they are not going to step down and allow Bashar al-Assad to fall. Right now, we have a World War III scenario breaking out. Russia has military installations all throughout Syria. Who do you think we're striking?
Yeah, this is what people need to understand. Not about Syria. In fact, just delete Syria from your headlines and implant Russia and implant China and implant Iran. Donald Trump just launched a war, a world war, with Russia, China, Iran, and their contingencies, North Korea and others.
The U.S. is conducting precision airstrikes with B-1 bombers. Multiple structures hit. What we've heard from the rebels, who are obviously ISIS, is that they want the U.S. to demolish government structures, to attack the presidential palace, to remove Assad completely. Russia has put in so many resources, so has Iran. That's why, what did Russia tell Hezbollah television, basically, that they're going to strike back? And what did Donald Trump say? The bombs are coming. You know, and look,
we talked about this, Chad, and I know I'm interrupting, but we talked about this, right? He was jockeying. This was all a mind game, right? He's going to say he's going to attack, then he's going to hit, then he's not, then he is, and then when everybody's asleep around the weekend, this is exactly what you said. The bombs are going to rain. And it's exactly what's happening, man. You can't even go out for a beer and a freaking crouton, have yourself a little blue cheese salad without the bombs being dropped.
I mean, unbelievable. And we saw James Comey doing his little tour. And we saw the buildup, similar to the buildup when they were coming, when they wanted an international response to Libya. The distraction that Comey, he's going to be on 2020. We knew. And again, we've been looking at how the media plays their games. I mean, it's pretty typical. But to the average person, they have to understand that you're right, Chris. Take Assad out of your brain. Take Assad out of your brain. We are attacking Russia, Iran, and China. And what do you think they're doing right now? They're attacking us back. Alternative news is so important right now. The mainstream media, they're going to hide everything. Everybody needs to be prepared.
Yeah,
Everybody needs to be
People are
prepared.
like, well, Christopher, why would we support you if you're a millionaire and you own a Maserati? I don't know. Why do people spend billions of dollars and give it to Jeff Bezos and George Soros so that they can own Amazon Prime and Netflix? I don't know. It's a freaking war. That's why we need your support. Like, are you freaking kidding me? This is the war that we're fighting. So it is literally my phones. I have 4 of them. They're blowing up worldwide. I got friends all over the world. All of them are texting me. Oh my gosh, Chris, this war's happening that you've been talking about. Yeah, I know. Russian Navy chief. I'm reading another breaking news wire here, chap. Threatens U.S. warship near Syria with torpedo attack. We have no fear. A direct quote. Like this is honestly, Trump's got to be in a bunker right now. But he's exposed. And I'm throwing him under the bus right now. Honestly, this is the dark state at work. I've got to blame Trump, though, too. This is the dark state. This is total bullshit. I am really pissed off about this. This is bullshit. This is total bullshit. He was against the wars. He lied. He lied. And this is the dark state at work. And they have positioned him and put him in a corner. And I don't even know if we're dealing with Donald Trump anymore. I don't even know if he can survive this, honestly. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, he is... It's not just him. People need to understand this. They have totally extorted Trump, his family. It is far uglier than you can even imagine. This goes to show you how evil this is in Washington, D.C. How very little control the rightful president of the United States has.
It's unbelievable. Donald Trump, look, he's either going to play ball or he's going to be removed. Or, God forbid, something worse. But we all know that the President of the United States doesn't control our foreign policy. And if anything shows you, because this has always been, why are events, no matter who's the president, happening in exact chronological order? Taking out the Middle East country by country by country, no matter what president is in the White House. Why is this occurring if the president has even a tad bit control over foreign policy? He doesn't. But he should be speaking out against it. He's obviously playing ball. Unfortunately, this false flag chemical attack, they said, would he have proof? Where's the proof? The missiles are launched. Did you see any proof? I didn't get an alert on proof.
The proof has been destroyed, Chad. There is no proof anymore. Oh, we're just going on trust. Yeah, the same bankster cartel that bailed themselves out with trillions of dollars in 08, 09. By the way, it's why I got involved in Bitcoin and basically bet big on it. It's made me a multimillionaire because I don't trust the financial system at all. It's why I left Merrill Lynch a decade in finance and all these kind of things. Left Wall Street because I didn't trust it at all. But there is no proof. That's the answer. There is no proof. It's just total hearsay. It's total lies.
Did you see them? They were saying that there was proof, like France. Oh, we have proof. We have the evidence. Oh, Theresa May from the UK. Oh, we have proof. We have evidence. They never showed it because there is none. This is the psychological warfare. This is the propaganda that was building up.
And I'll say this, too, and I want to hear your thoughts, Chad.
Oh, good.
Russia is going to retaliate here in a big way. Okay,
they are right now.
I know they are. But even worse, I mean, this is not going to be like some little thing. They've been very calculated. They were very calculated with Trump's first strike. The wound is opened up. The gunshot fire, there's no going back. This is what I think people need to understand. If there's a takeaway from this episode, if it's any different from the last 10 years of what we've been discussing, is that there is no going back from here. We've gone over the cliff. You've already jumped off the skyscraper, and there is no turning back. Your face is going to hit concrete. That's the result of this world war. World war. Get it through your head. World war.
World war. U.S. warships, Russian warships are launching in the same, right off the Syrian coast. They're right next to each other. Russia has put in way too much of an effort. Iran, Hezbollah, they're all gearing up. Saudi Arabia and Israel, I'm very interested to see what kind of moves they're making, probably right now against Iran that we're not even seeing. There was a lot of reconnaissance missions being flied all over Iran. I mean, we remember Israel. What was Israel doing just a month or two ago? We reported this here, Chris, that they were doing test runs. They were doing stealth fighter test runs over Iran. This is a world war, absolutely. all of these major countries with nuclear weapons. This is the scary part. I mean, Chris, with nuclear weapons, we are right now in the midst of a
not
war
just nuclear
with
weapons,
countries.
which is a very
Nuclear
serious
weapons.
threat, but autonomous weapons.
Yeah.
AI, artificial intelligence, drones that can come out and target you with precision in 2 seconds, take out an entire army. Who possesses that technology? Russia. Russia.
And look, a lot of
we better hope the United States has the leg up in some of these areas, because we are looking potentially at a total blackout here in the United States. Total blackout. So I've been warning and telling millions of people around the world to prepare over the last 10 years with everything: food storage, water, survival supplies, relocation plan, put together a strategy with your family. The list goes on and on. Your investments, gold, cryptocurrencies now. We put together the complete bucket list. In fact, I've got a handbook coming out if there's still any time left. There might not be, but we're going to still be living while we can be living.
Christopher, how is it that all of these, I mean, we're only supported by you guys, the viewers, the people, and please thumb up this video and share it and get it out to everybody and subscribe to the Underground on demand. Click the link below. But how is it that all these mainstream media outlets with their billions and billions and trillions of dollars can't predict nothing while we're sitting here, right? We've been screaming off the top of our lungs exactly the events that are occurring right in front of us today. It is just amazing. It is pathetic, the mainstream media apparatus. That's why we have to completely, I mean, people have to tune into alternative. They need to join us. They need to join us.
They need to support us financially in addition to that. Oh, it was fake news, Chad, right? It was fake news. Fake news that Hillary was sick. No, it wasn't. Oh, this was fake news, too. There's no such thing as a war. That's fear-mongering. Oh, until there is. Oh, okay. Interesting how quickly that changed.
Look, I don't understand. Like, people might, okay, I understand, like, some people might be young. They haven't experienced any hardship besides, like, little microaggressions that they just have to boycott advertisers. You know, but this is real life. They don't care about your feelings. And, look, we have to understand that war happens. Why do you think we have all these military bases all around the world? We want to take out Russia more than anything. More than anything. This has always been a part. It's not about the Syrian people. It's not about, 500,000 people already, probably more than that, have already been killed. Now, all of a sudden, we're striking because we care about the Syrian people so much.
Yeah, I want Americans tuning in who actually have the mainstream. I don't know why you would support the mainstream media, but if you actually have TV, I don't know, maybe you're at the airport or a retirement home or something like that, and CNN's on mute in the background. You're watching these airstrikes, these Hellfire missiles rain fire, hellish fire on innocent civilians tonight, men, women, and children. I want you to imagine, God forbid for a minute, this is every American city in the United States. This is every European city in Europe. This is every allied nation, and it's happening here on your ground, where you actually give a shit about what's going on. Oh, it's so Syria. We don't care about Syria. I've never been to Syria. No big deal. That's what you need to put into your head, because that is what's coming. That is what the retaliation, God forbid, could look like. This is a very, very serious game, a tactical, strategic game. Psychological warfare, media manipulation. Why do you think Zuckerberg's been on the stand? We talked about this over the last week, discussing how to filter out fake news and all this kind of stuff. They don't want you to think for yourself. They don't want you to have an opinion. They don't want you to be an individual of independent mind. They don't even want you to be a capitalist. It's somehow wrong to be successful in this country. It's funny, I read some of these comments, like people are pissed off we're successful. Are you freaking out of your mind?
That is the most ridiculous thing.
You want to live insanity, you freaking socialists.
Yeah, I mean,
this is capitalism here in the United States, where you build yourself up from your freaking bootstraps. And you do what it takes, blood, sweat, and tears.
Regardless of what's going on around the world, regardless of the fear, regardless of the psychological warfare, we're not living in a communist country. We want to do good. People should want to do good.
We want the best for humanity, too. And that's what I don't know if people get that or understand. I care as Syria is being rocketed right now, on raining down hell on men, women, and children. I actually give a shit. I give a shit.
Yeah.
I don't hear that, though, from CNN and the liberal left. I hear, well, it sounds like we got the evidence now, so let's go kill a bunch of people. I'm sorry. That is horrible. I do not approve of any of that. Call me a conservative, Christian, whatever you want to call me. That's what I am. But it actually seems pretty rational in my mind. It's pretty normal. I want the best for people worldwide. I want the best for humanity. And it's not what we're getting. All because your country and your government is lying to your freaking face and has been using and abusing you and extorting you and ripping you off for generation after generations. It's one of the reasons people are constantly stuck in that negative frame of mind. Like, it doesn't make any sense at all. You need to empower yourself. Empower yourself. It's crazy, Chad. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm so pissed off. Honestly, I'm so pissed off right now. I can barely speak.
No, so am I. And it's like this. Basically, look, we look at the playing field. We look at what's happening. We try to give our best opinion. Doesn't mean we want it to happen. We're just telling it like it is from our best, opinion and critical thinking.
And facts.
And unfortunately, these events are occurring. Unfortunately, this is our reality. And people have to completely tune out the mainstream media and support us in alternative news. I hope we have like 3,000 likes. I hope this video is being shared to everybody because it's going to be, like you said, a complete blackout in the mainstream media. A lot of people right now are dying. Ships are attacking each other. I mean, Russia already has threatened a U.S. warship with a torpedo. And what are we going to get? The truth from CNN, Fox, or MSNBC? Not at all. Not at all.
Incredible. Well, he did use those smart weapons, right? He said he would use those smart bombs. I'm looking at some other breaking reports here, just corroborating what we're discussing right now. Trump says strikes targeted. Assad's chemical weapons capability. Officials say more attacks are possible. And retaliation, which is happening right now. As you mentioned, Chad, live updates. Strikes a clear message to Assad. Mad Dog Mattis says video appears to show airstrikes in Syria. Do we have any of that footage? Alex, have you been able to grab any of that yet? Like the actual strikes? I know we got images, but is there any video that we're seeing? I mean, all this is going to come out in the next half hour, and then it'll be streaming across bullshit mainstream media for the next 2 days as they wipe out an entire indigenous population.
Exactly. Only give them what they want to see. But remember, everybody tuning in right now, the audience, the deep state, what are they doing? Not just these strikes. You know that ISIS and the rebels and all of the rebels, I got to get that verbiage. It's ISIS is being funded. Right now, they are also doing an incursion against the Bashar al-Assad government. So it's not necessarily we even have to put our boots on the ground currently, which it absolutely is going to come to that when Russia is involved. But we have these ISIS, these radical Islamic elements on the move as well as the strikes. But you know what the mainstream media is going to do? They're just going to show you the fireworks over the sky. And they're not going to get to the truth of the matter, which is the complete annihilation, the removal of Assad. This is not about Syria. This is about attacking Russia, attacking Iran. And you do that first by removing Assad.
I want to go to our audience here for a moment. We've got a lot of you tuning in. Is there anything that you've uncovered as this is breaking live through the blogosphere and the web? Any footage, we're streaming, so we have thousands and tens of thousands of people tuning in here right now. We're multi-streaming on various dozen or so different platforms around the world. Honestly, Fox News can't even do this. It's incredible. It's incredible. I can't even believe it. Like, honestly, give all the glory to God. Again, we talked about that at lunch. It is absolutely incredible. But is there anything that we're not covering here or any tidbits of information as these reports are breaking? Again, we're not in Syria right now, so I haven't had the bomb dropped on my head yet, courtesy of the dark state. Anything you guys want us to address, want an opinion from myself or either Chad or even Alex here commandeering the ship on a Friday? Because we're always working. We're always working. 24/7 around the clock, every single day, working our ass off to bring the truth, to bring the truth at great cost, which is why we live large and we go for the jugular and we play to win and we live big. And are you seeing anything, Alex? Because those are streaming so quick. Anything like thoughts top of mind that you can think of?
There's like a blackout right now. It is unbelievable. They're only going to want to show you what they want to show you, unfortunately. I'm sure people are tuning in from around the world, maybe even from Syria, but I guarantee you that they probably have no connections in Syria, actually. Everything is shut down in Syria.
Yes. Okay, so this is where it's going. I can feel it. This is the instinct, the false flag, which we just talked about 2 days ago. That's what's going to happen next. You heard it here first again. And I hope I'm wrong. I really hope to God I'm wrong. That's what's coming next, God forbid. The retaliatory event, the Pearl Harbor, God forbid, that moment. That is what is needed to really rip through America, and I hope this doesn't happen, and push the support of the American people so they rally behind not a war in Syria, but a world war. That's what comes next, Chad. Donald Trump's going to position this, the deep state, the dark state's going to posit as this limited strikes. They're going to say, oh yeah, it's limited. We're just doing our job, because we've got proof now. And then the big one's going to hit, and then the nukes go off.
And if that's the case, why is there another armada of U.S. warships steaming towards the Syrian coast?
Oh, just for fun, dude. Just hanging out. Yeah, just no big deal.
Vacation, a cruise.
Yeah, total vacation.
To see the sights.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, even in some of our comments, we were at a fake lunch today. That was a fake car we were all riding in, too.
Yeah, that was right. You know what? I was a rental. You know what? Well, we got to give me the title.
Yeah, I tell you what, you guys are going to get really used to that rental because it's going to be about every single freaking video from here going out. So I'm going to get tired of looking at the darn thing. Anyway, it's not a very big deal, but I do think it's funny.
Yeah.
What else? I'm looking through the breaking news wire here. You got to laugh a little bit. I mean, it's just
it is funny.
This is kind of incredible.
I mean, we're a truth channel for a reason because that's what we do here. We tell the truth.
We're just actually really reporting on the news.
Yeah.
We're just reporting the facts. No one wants to hear them.
Yeah.
We've got Comey out making God knows what, selling his book, Total Disgrace to America.
I know people take this guy seriously. Of course, he's just like a disgruntled ex-employee who let crooked witch Hillary off, okay, just so she can get elected and do exactly pretty much what they're doing now, but probably a lot quicker when it comes to Russia, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I want to re-emphasize the takeaway again. And Chad, I think you probably agree with me on this one. This is what you're going to get from the mainstream media and Trump and U.S. officials. The strikes were targeted, they're going to say. The strikes were limited. We just did what we needed to do. Okay, we did a really good job. We just got in there. We've got the evidence and the hardcore proof, even though it's total lie and total BS, that Assad did this and Assad did that. We didn't do anything wrong. Then the retaliation. Then, God forbid, the Pearl Harbor. Then God forbid, the Gulf of Tonkin. Then, right. God forbid, the burning down of the Reichstag building. That's what's going to happen. And then it won't be Trump's fault. It won't be the dark state's fault when we open up a world war and they reinstitute the draft and they're sending your kids overseas to fight and die for these egregious wars while they bicker on mainstream media bullshit television. It'll just be part of the program. I mean, what else are you guys going to do? You all remember September 11th, right? We had to go bomb countries. It had nothing to do with it after. It is so easy to manipulate the American people, and I see it right now, hook, line, and sinker. It'd be the thing I would do if I was a evil person or I was a part of the evil dark state. That's what I would do. It'd be so easy to convince the American people. All you need is an event. That's it. Easy. Easy money, baby. So simple. So simple. These people control the media. They control all the outlets. They control public perception. They control the people. That's why there's Zuckerberg testifying on the stand right now. It's all about controlling media information. It has nothing to do with privacy. They don't care about that. They don't care about your privacy. They care about controlling your mind and the information that gets out to the American people.
They knew this was coming. They knew, were they talking about it at all? They knew this was coming, but no, they weren't saying anything about it whatsoever. This propaganda is unbelievable. The false flags, it's just like never before.
And it's not like Russia isn't prepared. How much time has Trump given these countries and telegraphed what's going on? This is no surprise to America's enemies. So they are fully ready. The nuclear submarines are ready. They are ready to engage. Autonomous weapons are ready to rock. The EMP is good to go. I mean, I'm not exaggerating here. Everybody's ready. It's like living in a movie, but in reality. We even have a reality television star at the helm. It's not even real, but it is.
We are at war with Russia right now. I mean, I hope everybody has this clear here. Russia has massive amounts of military installations in Syria, surrounded Syria with their warships, as basically bombs are flying over their warships right now. I mean, understand, this is what's exactly is happening. There's a media blackout. The removal of Assad is imminent. and Russia is not going to let it happen. They already stated it. Take them seriously. Take them seriously. Why do we underestimate our enemies so much? I mean, we don't, as people, shouldn't consider Russia necessarily our enemy, but the deep state does. Okay? And they want to destroy Russia. So why would we underestimate Russia if they're telling everybody that they're going to strike back? Why wouldn't we believe them?
Great question. Sounds pretty serious. I'm just processing all this. I almost feel like I need to take a moment of silence along with the audience, because it's just, what else more do we say, honestly? We're not going to be able to come on when the EMP hits. I don't really know what's left to do. Like, honestly, God, what else more do you want us to do? Seriously. Do you know Alex? Do you know Ch? I don't know what else to do. We're on camera. We have been for 10 years. Everybody's laughed at us. Here we are. Everything's happened that we basically said what happened. Like, I don't know what else we're supposed to do. God, seriously, like, I'm asking God. Like, what are we supposed to do now?
You know, the people in the United Kingdom have to understand as well that all of these false flag attacks were occurring even before this chemical attack, where you had a supposed nerve agent attack on a former Russian spy that they accused Russia of with no evidence. Now they're accusing basically Russia of this false flag chemical attack in an ISIS-held town. The UK doesn't want to pull out of the European Union. They need Russia as that boogeyman so they can have a united Europe.
Yeah,
okay?
and I need to, I'm sorry, Chad, I know I'm being so rude. I need to interrupt you, and we're going back to your commentary, but would you please, for God's sakes, share this video? If you're tuning in, you're one of the tens of thousands of people watching this on multi-stream. Would you please, for God's sakes, share this video, like it, email it, tell your parents, tell your friends, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. Get it to everybody. I don't care if you're conservative, you're a freaking Christian, you're a Muslim, you're a liberal, who you are, what gender you are. Would you please share the message? Do you understand how serious this is? Do you understand we're talking about a total blackout here in the United States and worldwide? A World War III scenario? Everybody's telling you this, not just us. Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard is telling you this. The president is telling you this. Putin is telling you this. Would you please, for God's sake, share this video and actually do something instead of just consuming this information?
Well said.
I apologize, Chad, but
no.
It pisses me off.
I agree. I mean,
this shit should have 10 billion views. 10 billion views.
We have to work together. It's not just about us here. It's not just about us. We all have to work together. We all have to get the message out. This is what it means to be part of the underground. This is what we have to do. We all have to share this message. There aren't voices for you in Washington. There aren't voices for you in the mainstream media. You're your own voice. This is alternative news is the only voice.
Yeah, it makes me angry and it makes me sad. And honestly, everything we've discussed and even everything I just said is 100% justified. It is 100% justified. This might be the most important broadcast we've ever put out ever. Ever. For a reason. I don't know why. I don't know the reason, but we're here as humanity who actually cares.
Bombs away. That's what's on. Bombs away, like it's a game. I'm seeing the front cover of.
Yeah, I'm looking through my
away.
feeds as well to see what, if any, other developments we've got. Incredible. Hellfire missiles all over Syria, smart bombs, lighting it up like a freaking Christmas tree. Men, women, and children under attack. This is even if the Assad stuff was true, this is far worse what's happening right now. There are more lives at stake, more civilians at stake. These aren't people of war. These are kids, man. Kids. These people need to be ashamed of themselves. It is a disgrace. A disgrace. And like you said, Chet, all we get from the mainstream media all day is a bunch of snowflakes bickering about their lattes that they got over at Starbucks.
I know. Give me a break. That's all they're concerned with because they haven't, experienced real hardship. And look, I understand. I mean, the mainstream media propaganda is pretty strong. It's hard to break. I mean, even for me sometimes, that's why I just tune it out. But they're not going to tell you when something's going to happen. Obviously, they didn't. We were drilling every day, trying to tell people what's happening. And now the people in the Middle East and Syria, they're looking up, and they see it happening right before their very eyes.
Yeah, couldn't be telegraphed with any more accuracy than it's been. It is so incredible. Honestly, haunts me, the conversations we've had privately on demand just a day ago, 2 days ago, 3 days ago. This entire week, just us discussing, which is all we all recorded for the Underground, by the way, where we talked literally about this exact event happening today, Friday the 13th. By the way, Alex is always good at this with the numerology component to all this. 322 and how all this ties into things that barely people can comprehend. We can't even go there. It'll be too much for them. They literally freak out. We can't even go too far. We just got to tell you, okay, yeah, the bombs are going off. But take note, it is occurring on the 13th here, which there's a lot of meaning behind that. I'm not even going to get into it. But for those of you that are actually educated, get it, understand.
Multiple Syrian sites struck. They are dismembering the Bashar al-Assad government right now. I hope everybody knows that.
I've seen Assad. I've never met the guy, but I've seen Assad in multiple dozens of interviews. This guy seems composed. This guy seems logical.
Yeah. He's not stupid.
He's not stupid. Donald Trump ain't stupid.
Nope. And that's why he didn't gas his own people because he knew this was going to happen. They're not stupid.
We could pull tweet after tweet of Trump, by the way, before he was president, which basically said, Obama, don't attack Syria. We don't need a war in Syria. Syria will be World War III. Syria will be. This is what he said in the debates. Syria will be World War III. He said, yeah, you'd cause World War III, Hillary, and you'd be in jail. This is exactly what he said. This is what everybody has said. And now here we literally are at World War III.
When you walk into the White House, they literally, they corner your soul? What do these dark state entities do, man?
I don't know.
It's unbelievable.
I have no idea. It must be beyond. It really is a spiritual battle. It's got to be far beyond our comprehension, far beyond our intellectual capacity. It is. Honestly, we have to give it 100% to God. He is the only one that can save us. Put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. I know I have. Did a long time ago. He has given everything to me. I don't even know why I'm here, but we're here. What else can we do?
Pray. And let's hope that, to God, that this doesn't reach our shores. I mean, because understand, Russia isn't just a small country with a couple little ballistic missiles here. This is a very strong country with a very strong military, as well as China and Iran, who have very strong
build
alliance.
Upon that for a minute, Chad. Build upon what you just said. It's the reason why you need to share this video. You said, I hope it doesn't hit our shores. I hope this doesn't come to the United States. I hope this doesn't come to our allied nations in Europe. I hope this, I hope that. This is why you need to share this video. People say, well, Christopher, the bombs have already gone off. So what good is 10 years of videos that you've put out basically predicting everything that's happening now? And again, it's not a crystal ball thing. It's just very, very obvious if you're paying attention, if you understand the geopolitics and the chess pieces of all this. But it is the primary reason you need to share this video right now. Because, I don't know, maybe we can prevent that event from hitting our shores. Or at the very least, when it does, people understand what's going on. And they're prepared. Maybe tonight they'll actually watch this video and go, holy shit, maybe this crazy guy behind the camera is right, Chad's right, Alex is right, they've been right, maybe I do need a bug out bag. Maybe I should go to the store tonight and buy a crap load of water. Maybe I should call my dad and my mom and my brother and my sister and apologize. Maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that. Maybe I should bury the hatchet. Maybe I should get ready for something big. Maybe I should put my faith in God. You know what? I'm a sinner. Put my faith in Him. Maybe this is the wake-up call. Maybe that's why we're here. Maybe that's why you're watching this right now. You might even have not even seen us before. But you can click a like button and share it worldwide while you still can. And that might be the sole reason for our entire existence, this moment right now. This video could get 1 billion views around the world. Totally up to you. Just depends how it would spread like wildfire. I mean, you share it, and then another person shares it, and another person shares it. It just keeps going. It's like chainmail. This is the power of the internet until it's shut down, which is why we do tons of work in blockchain technology, because it's the future. Other than that, I don't know what else are we supposed to do. I don't even want this broadcast to continue too much longer because I just don't want to continue beating the horse. It is what it is. We've talked about this for years. Until there's another major development, what are we even supposed to tell you? I don't know. Sleep tight.
And look, I mean, obviously, I mean, common sense preparation is better than just saying, nothing's going to happen. You know, which a lot of people have that attitude. Nothing's going to happen until, boom, it happens out of nowhere. And look, we're going to be all over this story. We're going to be all over it, providing the news and the message. But get this out because we don't know what kind of blackout, social media blackout, is going to occur here. And we got to remember that on these platforms, they like to put us in a dark corner. That's why you have to thumb it up. You have to share it. You have to get it everywhere because it's not going to appear in recommendations. You guys tuning in have to share it.
So click that link below. It's super easy. It is not hard. Click the link below. Go to our website. Subscribe on demand. It's free. You can put in your little email address. That way we can contact you. If the internet's still up, then at least we can get our information to you. If it's not, then good luck and God bless. Honestly. We're all on the same playing field. It's not going to be any different for me or anyone else. I mean, I've tried to prepare, but I can only do so much. So do whatever you can right now.
I mean, the skies over Syria right now are completely lit up. I'm seeing a little bit of footage coming out. It is just honestly...
yeah, I'm sad,
when you look,
man. I'm really sad. I am very angry and very, very sad. And I'm, you know, I admit it. I'm scared, dude. I'm scared. I'm scared, honestly, for the people that I love.
Terrifying situation.
I'm terrified.
Actually. Donald Trump said it himself. This is not the Cold War anymore with Russia. He stated this. I mean, he tweeted it out. This is a hot war we're in with Russia. Russia sent nuclear missiles to Cuba, and he's saying we're in a worse situation than that we're in a hot war with Russia. Why aren't we going to... This is what's occurring. This is exactly what's occurring. People have to believe it. I mean, this is what's happening.
I always know how big it is because we don't tune into the mainstream media, obviously, but when my phones blow up, I've got 5 of them. When they blow up, that tells me what's going on from the mainstream media perspective. So it tells me how serious this is and the gravity of it all, how big of a deal all of this is become. It's really a catastrophic worst-case scenario. And I'm seeing some of the images that Alex is putting up even right now. We're only starting to get to the surface of some of this. But let me reemphasize, they're going to sell this con job as limited strikes. We've done our job. We did nothing wrong. We had the evidence. Assad's guilty. We only bombed a couple times. Then the big one hits. That Hawaiian false flag intercontinental ballistic missile coming to the shoreline of which Hawaiians were throwing their kids down storm drains becomes real. And there will be no alert, and there will be no text message. There will be a ball of fire.
And I want to bring up one more thing. Let's not forget, think about Vladimir Putin's personality. He's sick and tired of getting pushed back basically by the New World Order agenda. He's going to fight back. He's not going to step down. He's not a sissy. Okay? I mean, people have to understand who we have at play here. We have very strong, and I was trying to explain this before, because it reminded me kind of the 1930s, pre-World War II. We have these really strong people leading the country. You know, obviously the deep state in this country, but Donald Trump's personality, well, he doesn't want to back down. Vladimir Putin is sick and tired. Why do you think he was even willing to be invited and went in to Syria? He's not going to back down. That's why we've seen him, even though Crimea voted to go back into the Russian Federation, that he's kind of taken back some of the territory that used to be in the Soviet Union. Russia views that the collapse of the Soviet Union was the worst thing to happen in the 20th century. He's not going to back down. Why do you think he's basically been president for so long? He has a vision for Russia, and not the U.S., not Israel, not Saudi Arabia is going to get in the way of that vision. 100%.
Yeah. And I think we need to discuss the Trump topic, because a lot of people are going to say, well, Trump has just sold out. He's a Manchurian candidate himself, things we accuse Barack Obama of being. Nothing he said was truthful at all. He just used his own marketing ability and shenanigans to get into the White House. Look, I can't pretend to know all the answers, but I think Donald Trump's been pretty darn real. 99% of the way there. What you're looking at is a total coup of and by the dark state here in the United States of America. Who's the dark state? They're the people that really call the shots. Okay, they're the George Soroses of the world. These are these enriched families that you don't even hear about on the news that own and control everything. All of the wealth internationally that have been ruling over general populations for ages. Ages. And these people in D.C. that are bought and paid for, that are just propelling the message of the dark state. We look at Comey again on his book tour, perfect example, but he's just on the surface. He's a gnat compared to what I'm discussing and really digging in here, or at least touching the surface on tonight, as we broadcast live April 13th, 2018, on Friday the 13th, as Donald Trump opens up total world war in the Middle East. A giant fight between Russia, a billion Chinese, a nuclear-armed Iran, the proxy that is North Korea, versus our allies, as we wait on pins and needles, God forbid, for a retaliatory strike, God forbid, on our shores, as Putin has warned and guaranteed.
Yeah,
and China has warned and guaranteed. Go ahead, Chet.
No, and this is not just the U.S., this is a coalition, a U.S.-led coalition, meaning other countries are involved. Why are other countries getting involved if it's... This is breaking out to be a much bigger incursion than obviously we experienced with the first strike. That's why it took a little time, okay, for everybody to get their ducks in a row.
I talked about this a couple days ago. These liberals might want their Second Amendment back when there's an invasion here in the United States. Oh, we don't need the Second Amendment, Chris. You do if Chinese invade here. You do if North Koreans start hailing down from the sky via helicopter. You will if Russia actually does what they've been telling us they're going to do. If you believe Russia is a threat and Donald Trump colluded with Russia, even though that's a total freaking fabrication, but if you believe that, you're going to need your Second Amendment. Otherwise, you're out of your mind. And
take the guns away. Because they hate the cops, they hate the police, right? But they want the police and the cops to come and save them and take their guns away. It is like, that's like a mental disorder if you think about it. I mean, why are we worrying about disarming the American people? Because it's propaganda brought to us by the deep state mainstream media and the dark state, absolutely, to remove us, to unarm us. Why? People, all we have is our Constitution. All we have. This is what our country was built on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alex, how many likes are we up to? We need these likes should be skyrocketing. We have tens of thousands of you viewing on multiple channels worldwide, 500,000 on YouTube, not to mention dozens of other channels. We're broadcasting literally in every country around the world right now. It is a joke if you can't get this up to at least 2,000, 5,000, 10,000 likes. It should be up in 5 seconds here. It is an absolute joke. I am looking at roughly almost 10,000, give or take, just on YouTube. And we're broadcasting everywhere. Like this video right now, and please, for the love of God, share it with somebody that you love, so maybe they would actually wake the heck up and prepare for what's coming. Send an email to your long-lost buddy. Hey, check this out. Seems pretty serious. Review our archives if you want to be educated. Got 3,000 videos up at amtvmedia.com. $3,000. 3,000 videos we've produced every single day over the last 10 years. Join our courses. Do something with your life.
And just like clockwork, as I discussed kind of behind the scenes with you, Chris, on demand, that MSNBC is saying that this is just a distract from the domestic scandal, a distraction from Comey, just like we knew that they were going to come out and say. See, this is another psychological warfare attempt by the mainstream media.
Absolutely. Wow. I'm almost out of breath. I'm looking at more headlines here as it comes through the news wire. Incredible.
Incredible.
By the way, send this to reputable news wires. What I mean by that, send this to drudgereport.com right now. Go to Drudge Report. They've got a little box down at Send News Tips to Drudge. Send this video to them. Send all of our videos to them. Send this to anybody you can think of. All of our friends in alternative media. Send it to the mainstream media. Get it out everywhere. Make sure that your voice cannot be ignored before it's too late. We have been warning about this for almost a generation. I'm out of words, almost.
Syria is striking back, absolutely. Russia is striking back. Why did they move their warships from port? People are like, oh, they're leaving. Yeah, they're leaving. No, they were getting in an offensive and defensive stance because they knew this was coming. Armadas of U.S. warships heading to Syria currently. So this is obviously going to be a long event. This isn't going to be a short event. And another thing is here, the Russians saying that we have no fear and threatening U.S. warships, just the fact that the mainstream media is saying that, we're going to have the mainstream media blackout, and they could be striking each other as we speak right now, and we're going to have to just do more digging onto that.
And I'll tell you this is the weakest argument, and you're going to start to see this pop up in the mainstream media. Trump is distracting from Stormy Daniels and all this. That is the weakest, most illogical, ridiculous, out of this world, you're an idiot, I just have to say that, argument, period. Okay, the trash bin story of Stormy Daniels is a non-story. It is not even comparable on any level humanly possible to a world war. No one cares that Stormy Daniels sells her body for sex via video. And nobody cares, even if it is true that Donald Trump allegedly had sex with her. Nobody cares. So any liberal argument that I see from Robert De Niro or all these other people I've boycotted and don't want to watch another movie or buy another product from these people ever again are out of their freaking minds if they think this is a distraction from himself. This is so much bigger than Trump.
Psychological warfare.
Psychological warfare. You said it.
And it doesn't matter who's the president. I mean, what? It's we had Obama, Bush, Trump, they're all taking out all these Middle Eastern countries. People think, oh, but no, it's a distraction from a porn star? No, they're using that to distract you. It doesn't matter who the president is.
And continue, Chow. We should see if Ashton, if we could get her on, too. She's probably reporting on this right now, sending us footage. Almost text her real quick. I want to get as many opinions on this as we can while we still can. I'm going to see if she's on the fly. And sorry, Chuck, I know I'm being like so rude. I'm just like interrupting every 5 seconds. I'm just so angry, so pissed off.
No, I mean, look, and with me, I'm even having trouble articulating it while I'm seeing all this happen and occurring as we've been discussing. It's actually really heartbreaking to see.
It is. So heartbreaking.
Okay, so General Mattis just came out, said U.S., U.K., and France are taking decisive action in Syria. Multiple countries involved. What do we call that?
Now, Alex is World War. Right on. Alex, you're behind commandeering the ship. You can't see him. He's off camera, but he's one of the smartest guys in the room. I don't know if you have any additional commentary, but is there anything you're seeing not from our perspectives as we're kind of moving just into ranting mode right now based on anger and being deceived? Anything else you see?
No, you guys are pretty much
okay.
Right on point.
Okay, I'd just like to ask.
Thank you.
Chad, are you seeing anything else that I'm not seeing right now?
Yeah, I was just doing a little digging here. It's just it's slowly kind of coming in, but basically when I start seeing multiple countries striking right now, I'm just trying to figure out what Iran is doing. Absolutely, because Hezbollah is basically it's a militant group in Lebanon, you know, kind of trained by the Revolutionary Guards in Iran, a very strong militant organization. And absolutely, when we see this going on, now is the perfect time for Israel to start striking. They've been wanting to take out Assad as well, but actually they want to take out Iran. We know that. And we're going to see an extensive war break out between Hezbollah and Israel as well.
Yeah, I keep thinking there's going to be some kind of EMP type event. And the reason is that would be the biggest thing that could happen that would strike the most fear in the most people when they need it most. Nobody, even as we're broadcasting, we're all using this tool that they control. I really believe this is a serious possibility soon. There is going to be a retaliatory event. This is what people need to understand. They need to get through your head. Putin ain't bluffing.
And you know what's funny? I see some people say, oh, Iran's not doing anything. Who do you think is in Syria? There's Iranian troops in Syria. You know, I mean, the misinformation out there to me is just astonishing, Chris. It's astonishing. Syria is nothing but a proxy. You have Russian troops, Iranian troops, all into this little country. We're all at war right now. Like, Iran's not. What do you think we're doing right now? Israel, they don't broadcast what they're going to do. They never broadcast. They launched those missiles. Did they broadcast it? No, they don't do that.
Kim.com, I'm reading here. I don't know if you saw this tweet. Of course, we worked with Kim a little bit lightly in the past. He's building a lot of these new blockchain networks, one of which we're beta testing here, all based on cryptocurrency and all this stuff here at AMTV. He put out a tweet not too long ago, said Putin has said he will retaliate if Syria is attacked. Putin is not known for making empty threats. Expect Russia to retaliate. And he couldn't be any more right. What did Einstein tell us? I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. That's what's so scary about this, is the technology, the technological warfare. That threat is so severe. It is unlike, these nukes are 1,000,000 times stronger than they were than when the United States dropped bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. We were talking total devastation, nukes that could destroy the entire eastern seaboard. Wipe out the entire west coast here in the United States. Take out Texas with a single click of a button. And I'm not saying that to spread fear. I'm saying that because that is literally what we're looking at right now. It is that serious of an event. There's no going back now. This is what people need to understand again if you're just tuning in. There is no going back. Trump just opened up, but more importantly, the dark state just opened up hell on earth.
You know, they said the same thing before World War II broke out, Chris. I mean, that, oh, no, Germany's not going to do it. Oh, we're not going to do nothing. Oh, nobody's going to do nothing. Then millions of people start dying all over the place. You know, it's, I mean, honestly,
history books, Chad. We don't read, no one reads history anymore, man. You're 100% right.
Yeah. And look, the information is important. Everybody share this again. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it with your friends and your family. We have to get the message out. And absolutely go to Drudge and share it with them as well.
And I expect, it's an expectation, not even an ask. I expect if you're tuning in right now and you're not uprating this past 10,000 likes at least across every major platform that we're broadcasting, honestly, you should be freaking ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed to be a human being. Hit the like button right now. I want to see 10,000 likes across the board on every single multi-stream we've got going worldwide on a dozen platforms around the world in every single country around the world. This might be your last chance. People want to know. They've been asking me for 10 years, Christopher, what can I do? Share the message. Share the message. It's that easy. And stay tuned. I'm going to probably cut it here and we'll keep you posted, but click the link below and subscribe to the Underground. Again, it's free. It's free to try. We're going to have a lot of content there. We've had dozens of videos this week, 90% of you have not even seen, by the way. I mean, we're reporting just dumping content. We'll have more content behind the scenes thoughts I can't even air publicly here because it's too controversial and I just don't want to put it out to the public. It's free. Share the video, smash 10,000 likes. If you haven't already, give your life to God. I'll tell you that. Give it up to the big man upstairs, Jesus Christ, who saved me not too long ago. Has changed my entire life. I give all the glory to him. And honestly, it almost brings me to tears every single day I'm alive. He's the only reason I'm here. That's the only thing protecting this great country, the great people of the world. He's the only person who can save you. And if you've been on the fence about that or you don't know him, you better get in touch with him right away. Chad, anything else?
Oh, I mean, amen to that. And honestly, it's a sad situation. We don't want to, again, we're reporting the truth as it comes out. We didn't want to be right about this. And again, everybody share it. Join us. We're going to be following up on this story, bringing you the real news, bringing you the truth. But this is your voice. It's not just me, Chris, Alex. This is your voice, and you have to share it as well. We all have to do our part. So I'll just end it with that.
All right, Alex, cut it there.